Hi, my name is Joe. Welcome back to A Fresh Cup of Joe. Got my first guest on this week, and yeah, we're christening YouTube with the first actual installment. Today I've got Russell here. How you doing, Russell?
What's up? What's chilling?
It's good. You know, fucking podcasts and shit.
Podcasts.
That's right. Every generic white guy.
This will definitely be my first podcast appearance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn. Fucking many more, too, I guess. Fucking hopes to many more.
Yeah, true.
Anyways, what are we going to talk about? One thing I did want to talk about that I've been planning on in my head is, want to talk about your book?
Oh, true. Yeah. I think I have it with me, too.
Ooh.
But yeah, my book, I wrote this book. It's a book of poetry. It's like just a compilation of like 40 or so of my favorite poems that I've written. And it's got a lot of good times. It's got a lot of hard times. I think it says in the description of the book that it has everything from silly to heartbreaking, and that's a pretty good way to sum it up. Because especially with the way that I write, it can be the stupidest thing you've ever heard, or it can be the darkest thing you've ever heard. So
I feel that one kind of like a Pineapple Shorts.
yeah.
One of the saddest poems, by the way. Is that one in the book?
Pineapple Shorts is not in the book.
I see. Okay.
Pineapple Shorts is just one that I do live.
All right. I feel
Because
that one.
it's a good icebreaker. And if you want to know what Pineapple Shorts is and you don't already, guess you're just gonna have to come see me do some poetry sometime.
That's right. Actually, speaking of which, right after this, we're going to be going to a late night series. I'm going to take the time to plug this one. So that's mostly what I've been doing on this podcast so far, is just plugging people. Yeah, let's plug the late night series at Drexel University at Cree Center every Thursday night, 8 o'clock sign up, 8:30 showtime.
True.
Now that plug time is over. I don't know. Fucking.
Well, I mean, we don't really have any sponsors yet.
We don't at all.
So that's your sponsor.
That's my sponsor
segment,
right now.
Is late night or like your guest stuff.
Yeah. By the way, I'm gonna leave a link to the Amazon link for his book in the description.
Sure.
Are you pulling out right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull out my book
All right.
if I have it. I may not even have it. I think I might have gotten rid of the only copy that I carried around with me.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, no, I just have my notebook
I still need to buy some.
with current poetry. I'm working on something else now.
A Paper Man 2?
No, I started writing a novel,
Oh.
and I have more poetry. I already have like 30 more poems since I released the last book. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I should probably start, thinking about how I want to put them together, and form them the same way I did with Paper Man. Yeah, the book's called Paper Man. I don't even know.
We haven't said the name of the book in the entire time we've been talking about this.
Yeah,
That's probably important.
It's called Paper Man, and it's based on a Disney short that I watched. That is where I got the name. Not so much the concept. I mean, part of the concept. The old short is this guy, and he is going to work, and he's just waiting for a train. And then there's this woman, and he meets this woman, and they kind of hit it off, but then he has to get on his train, and they're going in two different directions. So the whole short is him falling for this girl, and he sees her across the street from his work, and just a whole bunch of things. But at the end of it, he's been making these paper airplanes, and these paper airplanes come to life, and these paper airplanes lead him right back to where the girl is. And I thought that was a really cool concept of having a guiding force in your life. So that's kind of what Paperman is for me, is Paperman is that guiding force. Whatever guided those papers is what I feel guides me.
All right. I feel that, definitely. You said you were writing a novel?
Yeah.
Talk about that one.
So I'm writing this book called The Words. And each chapter will be about a different person that's affected my life. So the first chapter right now is the words of his mother. And then the second chapter is probably going to be the words of his father or the words of his uncle. I haven't really figured it out yet, how I want to chronologically put it. But yeah, it's coming together pretty nice. I've been working on it for a little while, and I had the idea and started to write it a little bit, and it just wasn't the right time. But after releasing this book of poetry, like I feel like I want something that's more chronological for who I am and where I've come from.
So like a biography sort of thing. Or...
Yeah, almost but I've been writing it in the third person, so it's not coming straight from my perspective. It's about somebody that has gone through experiences almost identical to mine.
Okay.
But there are some things that are changed. There's names that are changed for privacy reasons. There's a few things that I did tweak so that it is still fiction, but based in reality.
Okay. So, trying to think of an example of like that. But I know what you mean. I like the concept of keeping every chapter as a separate person.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing they're probably going to have to intersect eventually. Because there's obviously a learning
there's some things that you will find, show up in the first chapter that actually show up in the fifth chapter. But I think the interesting thing about it is that a story doesn't always have to be told chronologically.
With a plot.
Yeah, you don't have to go immediate cause to effect. And I think that's really cool. And there's a lot of art forms that are doing that right now, especially with like all this like modern art and just new age contemporary art kind of thing. There's not a strict structure, and I like that, and I feel like I fall into that. And I love stories and telling stories. That's why I do poetry, just because I love to tell a story in an unconventional way.
I feel that. Definitely, yeah. And I definitely feel like poetry is definitely like the main art form to be doing that with. And I had a thing about about your point about chronological plots and how like every story doesn't need to follow that. And we've definitely seen that in modern media. Movies too, actually, because it's like now it's like you'll get just information at the beginning and the pieces slowly come together at the end instead of sort of a like linear plot.
Yeah.
And I remember earlier this week in philosophy, my professor brought up a pretty interesting point about life and how it doesn't follow a plot. It's just stuff that happens, but you make the plot in your head. So it's like, oh yeah, this is now foreshadowing to this happening.
True.
And I I feel that.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, life can be strange, and
there's a game about that.
I just was talking to my friend about this, but life isn't like you don't always have to understand life, and you're not going to. And actually the title poem in my book, it ends with the line, "Some things in this life are just too hard to conceive, and that is okay." And I think that was a huge part of how I've grown in this book and after this book is understanding that it's not all gonna make sense, and some things, yes, I do believe that some things happen for a reason, but not everything is going to happen with a reason that you can see, and there could be a reason for it that you're just never gonna understand.
Yeah. And
understanding that and coming to terms with that, I feel like it really helps you grow as a person and kind of move forward.
Yeah. So it's like, so the breaking down of the idea that like we don't control our own destinies or fates or anything. Certainly there are things that we do that affect it, but we have no, like, things happen.
And things are always going to happen.
Yeah, as I forget who wonderfully put it, shit happens.
Yeah, true.
Shit
is always just going to happen.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do about it.
There isn't.
And this is such a weird week for me to be doing this. But I'm also on Instagram.
Oh. Want to plug that real quick? I'll put a link in the description for it.
Yeah. So I'm on Instagram. My poetry account's Nerdy Rusty Writes. My personal account is Nerdy Rusty. I mean, neither of them I really post on a lot. It's not something that I'm super into right now, but I like to give people a little insight into my life and share cool things that I am doing or whatever.
All right.
But there some weird stuff happened with my Instagram this past weekend, and like it's getting into this whole idea of, do you really want to be popular? Like, do you want a ridiculous amount of people following your life?
Do you want an audience?
Yeah, because having that audience also comes with a lack of privacy, and it comes with the possibility of getting hacked and people wanting to steal your things and whatever. And I like to put poetry on my poetry account. I like to read things. I like to write things on there, and that makes it very easy for somebody to say, "Oh yeah, I did that."
Yeah.
And to take whatever I just did and then say, "Oh, I actually wrote that. Those are my words."
Yeah.
But that's not even what happened. I think it was just crazy exes.
Yeah. Oh jeez.
I got into it, but
yeah.
that's another good topic.
That's another great topic. I don't think we should get into this one though.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Relationships are ridiculous.
They are fucking.
But trying to find a relationship in today's age is like it's easier than ever before, yet still the most difficult thing in the world.
Well, yeah, because now with technology, like everyone's super close to each other. Like, you know, Tinder and everything, or like hell, like any social media, like you can talk to anybody.
I can hop on my phone right now. I could be doing it right now.
Yeah,
whoever's listening would have no idea.
That's right.
If I was actually just scrolling through Tinder.
I mean,
right
I
now.
would. I mean, I'm gonna leave that up to you guys to figure out if, you know, Russell over here's matched with you on Tinder during the recording of this podcast. I'll leave that up to you guys. But yeah, and where it gets hard is now everyone's got like these extreme standards. Now that they have access to this big pot of people, everyone's like, okay, so the likelihood of me getting what I want out of people, and that sounds. By the way, I made that sound way meaner than I wanted it to. Like, you know, finding like the person that fits with your personality. People are getting a lot more. Finding your fit is getting a lot. Okay, hold on. The likelihood of finding your fit is higher now, so the standard that people are holding other people up to is getting higher.
Yeah.
And so in that way, now everyone's out, you know, trying to impress and flex and all that stuff to be like, oh yeah, look at me. I'm an ideal mate.
Because you have to be better than the next person.
Yeah.
So I try not to use any dating apps or dating websites or anything like that, just because I don't want to be competing with somebody else. I just, if I'm going to find somebody, I'm going to find somebody. If not, like, I'm just going to continue to live my life. But being comfortable enough to be yourself and be single and just live your life is another great thing.
Yeah.
Like, and understanding that being alone is okay, even though we're always going to be alone.
Yeah.
Like we are always, at the end of the day, the only person that sleeps in your head is you. So being comfortable with that and being comfortable with who you are without having a crutch of another person, you know, people say, oh, it's two people coming together to make a whole. No, I want two separate people. Like, I want two separate people that are going to live together, not come together to make one person.
I think a better way to describe it would be more not two people coming together to make a whole. It would be more something coming together, two people coming together to make greater than the sum of their parts.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's what. Also, just a quick thing: we promote self-love here on the Fresh Cup of Joe podcast. Self-love.
Yes. Self-love.
So, being comfortable with yourself also means that you can just be comfortable with other people.
But don't be cocky either.
Yeah.
Like,
don't be that guy.
Don't be an asshole. Like, I've met so many artists, and the biggest thing and the best thing about artists is humility. There's a serious lack of humility in today's world, and being able to connect with people that have that and that can say that they love themselves and still not be an asshole about it, like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's people out there that would say I'm an asshole, that they're just like,
well, like, who doesn't? Like,
yeah,
who doesn't? They'd be like, you know, I'm an asshole.
That I'm egotistical and cocky or whatever. But I mean, I love myself, and that is something that I haven't always done. And I still fall off, and there's still times when I don't love myself, and there's times when, you know, I hate myself, and there's issues among that. And I talk about part of that in my book is going through those times and trying not to let it be the end of the world.
I feel that, yeah. I remember growing up, my parents always used to tell me, like, you know, something happens, sun still rises the next morning. Like, you know, you just pick yourself back up and you keep going. Like, there's nothing else you can do. I mean, yeah, you can like if it's a consequence that you can like or something that you can rectify, and there's ways to do it. Do everything you can. But if it's something that's been completely out of your control, I don't see a point in like working yourself to death trying to fix something that you're never going to be able to.
Yep.
And I guess that also comes back to like, yourself and everything like that. So kind of if you have a flaw that, is just a part of you, accepting that flaw, identifying it, and then moving on with it, knowing how to identify it and making sure that it doesn't horribly affect your life, that's an important part of it too.
I love apologies. I love when people apologize because it's normally a lie. Because normally they're just saying, I'm sorry, because they're trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But the true meaning, I think, of an apology is, I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to make a huge effort never to do it again. For that not to happen again.
Yeah.
And people are usually either apologizing for something they shouldn't be apologizing for, or they're apologizing and it's empty.
Yeah.
And that's a scary thing to have that distrust of people's apologies, but also like I just think it's funny. and finding the comedy in it also is hard to do, but you want to be able to do that because you want to be able to laugh at people.
Yeah.
People are, like we said, they're jerks.
Yeah. Like if you can't,
not always nice.
But like also one thing I was going to talk about, I was like, so what's your opinion on YouTube apologies? Because those usually go for great, right?
Oh my goodness. Fuck YouTube.
Where do you think I'm getting, hold on, where do you think I'm uploading this?
True.
We can't come right out the gate on the first episode of the podcast saying, fuck YouTube.
No, I mean, YouTube itself is a nice platform.
It has potential.
Yeah, the things that have happened in YouTube, though, I mean, there's just so much drama with it, and it's hard to know what's real and what's fake, and that's why this is such a wonderful thing, like podcasts, because you can just hear people talking and hanging out. And on YouTube, sometimes that's hard to find. It's hard to find a genuine interaction anymore. Because genuine interactions are few and far between in entertainment. Entertainment is, I'm going to put this thing together and then I'm going to show you what I've done after I did all that.
Yeah.
But stripping people just to talking and hanging out, that's so real and so raw.
Yeah, because podcasts rarely ever have scripts unless they're crime podcasts where you're doing investigations and you've prepared an essay for it. And
questions are cool too on podcasts, but they're not scripted.
Well, because I think the whole point of a question is just to be like, oh, here's the starting point, and then we'll go from there. Yeah. And that was my point. Bringing back that was my point with bringing up the book earlier. It's like that was just the launching point. Yeah. Because if not, we could have just left the mic on for a little bit until someone said, "How's the weather?" Yep. But back to the YouTube thing. The thing with YouTube is that since success on YouTube, you have to kind of ride the algorithm. Mm-hmm. That's why I think they use the term personalities, like YouTube personalities out there. So it's like certain people have if you want to be successful, you have to exude a certain aura and do certain things. Because if not, there's no success in it. Now, of course, there are other successful YouTubers that are the realest they can be. Yep. A lot of animators, they're just putting out their art. Yep. But YouTube's algorithm doesn't really cater itself to that because it's more lengthy content and consistent content. Yep. And animation definitely doesn't lend itself to that.
No. Not at all.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to do.
Yeah. We're really late to the boat with, ragging on YouTube's algorithm.
Yeah.
We could be even later and talk about the 2018 rewind.
YouTube is just such a large entity that it's hard to just say what the quality of all of it is. So saying fuck YouTube is a very assuming statement. It's very presumptuous to do that. But then again, there's a lot of things on YouTube that you can say fuck YouTube, But YouTube can be great. YouTube can be terrible.
Definitely.
And Instagram's doing the same thing with the weird algorithm thing. is if you don't engage with something, they won't show it to you anymore.
Yeah.
So if you're not constantly commenting on something or you're not constantly liking this person's posts, you're not going to see it.
Yes,
And if you don't like look at their stories as soon as they put them up, they're going to put those stories all the way down at the end. You're not going to be able to watch those until you went through everybody else that you normally go through.
And like, who has the time anymore? Like, because usually now people are following like hundreds or even thousands of people.
Great art that's out there, music and movies, everything that's out there. I'm gonna sit on Instagram and scroll through Instagram for half an hour trying to find the one person that I want to find.
And then like even then that like if I'm looking for like someone's like stuff and like someone's like, oh, I put this on my story, and you go on Instagram, like. And then you like, oh, I like that, and you keep trying to find that person's story. You kind of feel like a stalker going through like all this shit trying to find their.
Because you have to legitimately like search the name, like to get them to come up at least the first time, and then once you start engaging with it, it'll show it to you. But now, anybody else that you wanted to look at is now gone because you haven't been engaging with them.
That's what happened when I was doing my when I was starting all the setup for like the social media for the podcast and everything. I couldn't find couldn't find the Instagram account for it. I would search up Fresh Cup _of Joe, by the way, link in the description. I couldn't find it because it just wouldn't show up. And then eventually what I did was I just went to the podcast account, followed my actual account, then used that, and then started, getting the links for everything on that.
Sure.
I think Twitter does it better because you actually have like chronological.
Yeah. Like Twitter's solid. I'm not really on Twitter, but Twitter, when I was on Twitter, there is still a Twitter that I have that's up.
Oh.
But I don't use it. Like, I think I got rid of Twitter off of my phone. Just because I don't want the distractions. Like, there's so many things on my phone. And taking out your phone in front of somebody, like, it's just so...
It's rude.
It's rude, and you feel like you're less important now. As soon as I pull my phone out of my pocket, now you are no longer the most important person in the room to me.
Yeah.
As soon as that happens.
I think there are exceptions to that scenario, though. I think, like, if you get a text and, like, that's why everyone's got, like, the separate ringtones and everything. But, like, if you get a text and you check it, like, I think it's okay to check it. But, like, to actively start doing something on your phone.
Actively start searching through stuff and pulling up Instagram or pulling up Twitter or whatever. Yeah. Like, that's not... I'm no longer important to you if you're sitting in front of me doing that.
Yeah.
And that to me is like, where does that line end? Where is it that the line of, oh, now I can pull out my phone is? Is it after we have a half an hour conversation, or is it immediately when you get there, after 2 minutes of talking to me, now you're allowed to pull out your phone?
I mean, we're like 20 minutes into this. I can pull out my phone now, right? Like,
like exactly. And that's so weird to like even think about. So having that thought in the back of my head at least is...
Hold on, I'm sorry. I just realized I'm super low. There's the... Rise! Oh, rise! There we go. Now I'm eye level.
It's really low down on this chair.
Also, I think what happens with these
chairs.
Yeah, so shout out to Chestnut Chairs. They sink. You'll notice. We'll be talking for another like 10 minutes and you'll be down back at the ground. Like it's
so weird.
Yeah.
Chairs. That's a topic. We can talk about chairs.
Yeah, I should do that at late night was one of my things. The evolution of the chair.
Just talking about chairs.
What came first, the stool or the chair?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because
probably the stool.
Yeah.
Because like,
sitting on a rock, you can kind of call it a stool, I guess, because it's a chair without a back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess.
Or do you think they had like chairs all like up against the wall? Like that was your chair. Is that a stool or is that a chair? Is that a booth?
I think booths a booth.
Were booths really first?
I feel like now I'm picturing like a rock carving that kind of looks like a diner booth that like cavemen would sit in. This is fucking
perfect. This is quality entertainment.
Quality content.
Right, quality content.
We do fucking.
Only quality content.
We got it. We actually
Fresh Cup of Joe.
Yeah, we got to get that engagement in the comments actually, so YouTube's algorithm will boost me a little bit. We want to get a debate in the comment section going. What do you think came first, the stool or the chair? Booths are also an option.
Or the booth.
Yeah, the booth.
I'm hard on the booth
You're
thing.
hard on the booth?
I think they put rocks against walls, and I think it was the
That
booth.
was it?
I think it was the booth. I think it was like a half booth that was just sitting there.
I wonder who first came up with back support. Like, I wonder if some cavemen sat down. Like, we all used to kind of like sit around something, like around a campfire, and then some dude was like, I'm going to bring a rock up and lean against it. And he's probably like, guys, you get yourselves a rock. This is amazing. It's like lying down, but sitting up at the same time.
True. Somebody had to do that. That's something that I never would have even thought about. It's like, who first came up with the fact that our backs might need to be supported?
I don't know. It probably came around the same time. Well, like, I feel like people have always been sitting. Everything sits. But, like, you know, humans used to have, like, the worst backs. Like, if you look at the line and everything, like the evolutionary tree, or what's the line with the cavemen walking and becoming upright? What's that called?
What it's called. I think there is a name for it.
There's a name.
What it's called.
I don't know, but like those artist renditions, you probably know what we're talking about.
Yeah, of course. There's so many like graphics of
you know
it being put into the
apes coming upright.
There's so many memes with that in it.
Yeah, there are memes with that in it. You know,
I couldn't think of the word for what they were.
Oh jeez.
What are those graphic things? They sometimes have
jokes.
words on them and they're funny sometimes.
Sometimes
I felt like a dad trying to be like, these memes.
Ooh,
all these memes.
What was it? My dad. We have a group chat with my family, and my dad sends memes sometimes, and sometimes they're like dad memes that are actually funny, and they're classic. Like, I can't think of one off the top of my head. Dad, if you're listening, send me a meme. Send me a meme.
Dad, send me a meme. That's the new Hi Mom.
The new Hi Mom.
Hi Mom on TV is now
Dad,
send me a meme on podcasts.
Evolution.
Dad, send me a meme.
Jeez. God.
My dad doesn't really send me memes. So
doesn't?
I don't think my dad even knows what a meme is. My dad's the greatest person I've ever met. He's the best. I wanted to write a book just about him, but it's hard to write an entire book about one person. That's why it's a lot easier for me to not write a whole book just about me, but about all of these different people that have affected me.
Well, in a way, that's also you, because you're shaped by your experiences and personality. And so this was an interesting debate that I've had a little sometimes, where it's like, to what extent do we actually have free will? Because if free will is based on our ability to choose our destiny, but we're like without a doubt affected by outside forces and stuff like that. Like, we're shaped by other people's personalities, our parents, friends, and everything like that. To what extent are we our own people? Like, everyone, I think, is just an amalgamation of everybody else.
Yeah. I often have this thought that I might be the only actual person on the planet, and that everybody else might just be AI designed to test me and to see what I would do in that particular situation, and that somebody is just ruling it all and messing with these AI.
Let me take your name down again. Hold on, because he's on to something. Hold on a second. Did you get a text from the Illuminati that says, stay right there, don't fucking move? Don't fucking move.
Somebody just calls me on my phone and it just comes up Illuminati. They didn't try to hide it at all.
Yeah. It's just like they're coming right
That's
out.
poor planning.
Well, I mean, like, the Illuminati is controlled by Minecraft YouTubers.
That's probably true.
Yeah. I mean, Captain Sparkles is still out there doing shit. I think he still plays Minecraft.
I don't know. I used to watch so much YouTube, and now I don't watch anything. I watch NHL highlights.
NHL.
NHL highlights. Occasionally, like, the America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
Things. Or, like, late night talk shows or whatever. But, like, I don't watch any... I don't think I have any real YouTubers that I, like, solidly watch just to watch them. It's always like, oh, somebody sends me a link to a YouTube video, then I'll watch it. But other than that, like, I don't go on YouTube anymore.
I still watch a couple people. I still follow like subscribers, mostly for like, you know, updates on like games and stuff, or like you know, movie breakdowns and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I do follow that guy. I follow the one movie critic, Jeremy Johns.
Jeremy Johns. Is that Sins?
He is his own thing, and that's all his YouTube is just Jeremy Johns.
Oh.
And it's Jeremy like spelled normally, and then Johns spelled JAHNS.
Okay.
So it's a strange spelling of his last name, but he's really good, and he has a lot of similar viewpoints to me. So I like the way that he looks at movies. And he doesn't just, you know, take a Rotten Tomatoes or score, IMDb score or something, and then just go off of that. He has his own opinions and what he thought about it, and whether it was technically good, whether it was, you know, on a more simple level good. So
I think a couple people you might like is the Cosmonaut Variety Hour.
The Cosmonaut Variety Hour.
Yep.
Okay.
He does reviews, and he's really funny. Another guy is Nando V Movies. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No, I haven't.
He doesn't really review movies. He more takes movies that had the potential to be good, and he like rewrites part of it.
Oh, okay.
And so like he did a rewrite of like the entire Justice League movie, and it was amazing. Now he's rewriting Man of Steel, and it's great. It's great content, honestly.
Uh-oh. We just talked about this. Now I got a text message.
Here it goes.
Oh no, it's not a text message. It's a phone call.
It's a phone call. Are we about to answer the phone?
Do we want to answer the phone? You know who this is.
I do know who this is. Everybody, I was planning on having her on later. Please welcome our guest over the phone, Morgan Turner.
Yo, what's up? I'm doing a podcast.
I was gonna say, are you still at Joe's?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah,
we're in the middle of the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast,
I'm
Mo.
sorry. I'm on the podcast.
Welcome, Mo, to the podcast.
Hello. I wanted to see if you guys are still doing the podcast. That's all I was really calling.
Yeah, we're in the middle of it right now.
We're in the middle of it right
Okay.
now.
Well, you go back to doing that, and I will see you at late night.
All right.
See you.
See you.
Bye, boys.
Bye. That was Morgan Turner. You should check out her band. Her like 5.
Her band. All of them.
What was it? Double Suede, Muddy Jean. Fuck.
Double Suede, Muddy Jean. There's another one that has a weird name, but it's just one word.
Yeah.
And then her herself is Blue Jean.
Okay. So we got Blue Jean, Muddy Jean, Double Suede.
Mm-hmm.
The weird one that's all one word.
It's just one word, and I don't remember what it is. But
well,
she can plug it when she comes on.
Yeah.
This is my time.
Yeah, this is Russell's time.
Self-love. Come on, man.
Yep, this is what we love here. Self-love. Man, fucking...
I can't believe you just called in the middle of the podcast. That's amazing.
Doesn't matter. Fucking...
That's flawless. Because we were going to see her after this anyway.
Yeah.
Now she's on the...
Yeah, now she's on the podcast. Yeah.
There was a debate of whether or not she was just going to come with me and just sit.
Oh, really? Just sit
hang out.
That would have been interesting.
Because,
a double feature.
Well, normally we ride up here.
That's true.
Because we don't live in Philly. We live like 30, 45 minutes outside. And it was rush hour, so she probably much would have rather just come with me. That way we would have just been here already.
Yeah.
But she may have work or something or whatever. But
I mean, she was welcome to come. We could have just had a double feature.
I talked to her a little bit about it yesterday, but this whole... All my personal stuff that's going on right now is like... It
Piling
took
up.
over our talk. So
I see.
We didn't talk about today. Which is another thing that, like, I feel like is a huge downfall of at least my life. Is like always wanting to talk about the good things and like what we're going to do and what's going to happen, and then you just get caught up with whatever already happened or the trash that's going on. And
I think it's just a big balancing act.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, you know...
Life is just us trying not to be sad.
life is the Cirque du Soleil of emotions, where you constantly think everyone's gonna like shit themselves or like fucking
something is going wrong everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I think Cirque du Soleil is. Everything's just going wrong, and they're just really good at catching themselves.
Yep. They're just really good at saving it and making it look good.
It's like, oh shit, the cable broke. Tim's falling with the pole. Quick, get these 5 loops and grab him. I know, I'll do it with a triple somersault. And I'll make you feel bad for eating that popcorn, because I'm in really good shape, and you've got a little bit of a belly going on.
True. Isn't there I remember I watched a comedian, like a stand-up special, and they made a really good point, and I don't remember who it was, but they made a really good point. If you know who it is, leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
But they made a really good point about like masculinity versus femininity, where it is masculine people will often try to save something and make it look okay after they did it, whereas like somebody that's feminine will accept it and be like, oh, I messed up, I'm such an idiot or whatever. But somebody that's a little bit more masculine is going to try to be like, oh, I didn't just fall.
You didn't see that.
That didn't just happen. I meant to do that. Yeah. Like
the classic.
That's what they will try to do. And I thought that was a really good point. And they had a whole bit about it and it was hilarious, but I don't remember who it was.
I know Louis C.K. had a bit similar to that.
I don't think it was. It definitely wasn't.
It wasn't him. I know it wasn't him.
I think it was a female comic.
Oh, I might know her then.
Like Eliza Schlesinger or something like that.
Was she on Netflix? She had a Netflix special, right?
Possibly, yeah.
I don't know. Everyone's got a Netflix special now.
Yeah.
Netflix, hit me up. I can have a special.
True.
Yeah. I've been doing this for, a week?
There's a guy on Netflix. Everybody should check it out. It's about Rodney King. And it's just called Rodney King. And it's this spoken word poet. And he's just standing on a stage with a bunch of lights around him. He's in like some kind of sports jersey or something, and he's like barefoot, and it's just him, and he talks about what happened and takes you through everything that happened, and it was incredible. And I don't even remember when I watched it or when it came on, but when I watched it, I didn't do anything else. Like, I just watched it. And normally when you put on Netflix, you're checking your phone or you're playing a game or, hanging out with people, talking to people or whatever. And when I put that on, it was like it really envelops me. And whenever something can do that, I highly recommend that.
A movie that did that to me a little while ago was the movie Arrival.
Oh, very good film.
I like that one. That one messed me up at the end. I was like, "Oh my god!" I ain't gonna spoil anything.
I mean, that last line in that movie is trash.
But, yeah, but
it does kind of tear you up a little bit, but it's also trash.
If we're gonna judge everything by the last line in the movie, like the llast line of a movie shouldn't discredit the entire plot twist and
But everything else about it is amazing.
That movie had
my only complaint is that last line, that's going a long way to say that about a movie, because I'm a huge movie critic.
Yeah,
I love movies, and I'm very into breaking them apart and analyzing them.
I was talking with someone a couple of days ago, and I was telling them that my favorite like ending scenes in a movie, that God damn it, now that's in the podcast. Awesome, I just got a text. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Big Mike. Hold on, I gotta text Big Mike now and tell him his fucking text is now on the podcast.
All kinds of unexpected things happen on the podcast.
Hey, Michael, your text just pinged on my computer.
Ping, ping, ping.
Yep. And now it's on the podcast. Great.
Ping, ping, ping.
That's right. The thing is, I don't want to mute my computer now because I don't want to mess up any of this, like, sound recording stuff that's going on.
True.
Like, I'm new to this, if anyone
We'll
does.
just hope that you're a loser and nobody else texts you.
Well, now Michael's definitely going to respond.
True.
Like,
So if you hear any more pings,
yeah,
blame Joe.
Well, at least the microphone is facing the other direction.
Yeah, at least my phone was on silent when I came in.
Well, the thing is, my phone's on silent too, but my computer, which is recording right now, isn't. And I don't want to change anything in fear of messing it up.
Yeah, true. Audio equipment is
crazy. You know?
It's dumb.
Anyways.
Audio equipment's pretty dumb.
It is. Was it my
This is a nice mic though.
It is. I really like this mic. And I'm thinking of getting my own, like, just for the sake of, instead of like, having to borrow my roommates all the time. I guess like eventually I'll move on to like, get the mic and then save up a little more, get the cable and get whatever this thing is.
See, I have a mic. It just sucks. It's a terrible mic. So, and I never really used it for anything. Like, it's still better than, a phone speaker or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's trash.
Yeah. What's really nice is that this mic stand that I have, which I love this thing. Mm-hmm. This was only like $30. Like this whole rig thing was like $30. And we're thinking of getting some more so we can have like, multi-person podcasts and different audio things.
Awesome, dude.
Ooh.
Like if we all had our own mic. If you got 3 mics up in this, that would be great.
What I wanted,
we could all just sit around and chill.
Like what we could do, like my plan is eventually, like when we get enough mics and everything, is take the dining room table that we have out there and then hook up just mics around it. Yeah. So like we could have like 6 people on there. Mm-hmm. That's my plan to do it with when I get like, hopefully I can get my roommate's band Psychic Agency and get everyone on and we can all talk about that.
That'd be so cool.
That'd be really nice. And because then we get everyone's opinion instead of everyone huddling around one mic.
Yeah, I would definitely listen to that.
I mean, you're kind of watching. I haven't decided what I'm gonna. Yep, I'm sinking right now. There goes the chair.
Chestnut chairs.
Yep, chestnut chairs.
Chestnut chairs.
Anyways, I haven't decided what I'm gonna do for what's gonna be on screen. I'm still messing around with like Photoshop and just After Effects.
Just put like your logo and then the logo of whoever's on.
That's true. Well, you see, like, okay. Also, I'll talk to you later about that. But definitely, like, what I want to try doing is getting those like audio visualizers. Mm-hmm. Like, so it's like, but I need multiple mics for that because right now we're only getting one audio input. Yeah. So in order to do that, I need 2 mics so that I can get your audio and then have a visualizer for you and then a visualizer for me. Yeah. And so you got like little waves and something. So at least there's something happening on the screen. Mm-hmm. And then I want to. Oh, here comes Donovan's text. Hold on a second. Everyone, wait. Hold on, wait. If I open it quick enough, actually, it won't ping. Okay. So I'm gonna leave my phone open. Okay. My phone's on 2%.
Let's hope it doesn't ping.
Hello, Brandon.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast. Oh. Yep. So I want to say hi to everybody, Brandon.
Hello.
Get over here. We have surprise guest star, Brandon Nelson.
Hi. Hello, everybody.
And this is my roommate.
That's me.
Yep. I gotta get a recording sign. Put that
on air.
Yep, on air.
Just have it light up.
Anyways, yeah, so I think that's gonna be our time right now. It's been around, just about 45 minutes, and we gotta go. It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, true. We gotta get to this Johnski.
All right. So I'll leave links in the description to Russell's book, his Instagram, and all that. Also in the description, there's gonna be my Twitter, Instagram, and I have a website coming out. I got a website for the podcast. It's a good thing, and it's probably just going to be information that'll link you back to this. But it's a website, so it could be part of the new age, the new .com crash.
You could even have a schedule, like who's going to come on.
Yeah, I could. That's a great idea. I did not think of that.
Yeah.
Yep, it's great.
Really awesome.
I was about to say that it's great to have a committee, but then I always think of that joke was like, what's another name for a camel? A horse designed by committee.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, it was a bad one. Anyways, I'll see you all next week. Don't quite know who we're gonna have on just yet. Probably gonna be Mo now because she called, cool. So obviously. Anyways, I'll see you all later. Have a good day.